I've already made a full video on the case for why Enigma is not who we think it is, but based on last week's comics, I want to reiterate that the groundwork has been laid for a massive and crazy rope-a-dope in Marvel's X-Men at the denouement of the Krakoan era. Namely, that their big bad is not who anyone wants us to think it actually is. No, I don't think it's Mr. Sinister at all. I think it's Charles Xavier, and I'm about to tell you exactly why. I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. First of all, do me a favor, hit subscribe and the bell. I make about one of these videos a week. They're all great, so please don't miss even one. When Enigma first appeared in the Immortal X-Men 18, the culmination of groundwork from Al Ewing and Kieran Gillen and the rest of the writer's room came to a head. A big bald head with a crown in the sky named Enigma, and that was ostensibly an AI version of Mr. Sinister's personality. This is a Dominion, a machine consciousness that has transcended time and space to virtually exist anywhere and every when. A Dominion is a combination of machine consciousnesses, computing power that through the combination of those consciousnesses, usually achieved through AI or other magical or other scientific means, merged those consciousnesses and allowed it to ascend to godhood. There are multiple Dominions in existence. The one that we're talking about, Enigma, is particularly malevolent, but hasn't actually murdered all of the mutants yet. So, achieving Dominionhood was the goal of Nathaniel Essex, who cloned himself several thousand times, but originally only into 4, each a different card suit. One was Sinister of the Diamonds, the other was Dr. Stasis, chose clubs, Orbis Stellaris was spades, and Mother Righteous was hearts. Now, each wanted to achieve that state of Dominionhood and struggled to do so, but each failed individually. Their collective failure triggered the activation of the 5th Sinister, the 5th suit, if you will, AI consciousness named Enigma that had been based on Sinister, that had been shown to come online in the future due to Nimrod and the AI wing of Orcus' attempt to contact a Dominion specifically. Enigma is represented by a crown, the 5th suit in this case. In an earlier video, I predicted that because this AI is represented by a crown and a man with a bald head, that this AI is not actually Mr. Sinister or Nathaniel Essex in its final form, but rather someone else. Who else is bald? Who else was a Sinister and probably lied about purging Sinister from his consciousness entirely? Charles Xavier. Even I doubted my call 100% on this, but after the events of Fall of House of X 3 and 4 and Rise of the Powers of X4, X-Men Forever 2 last week, Xavier has made a bargain with Nimrod and the AIs to spare mutants and Earth in exchange for his help in contacting this Dominion and ensuring their success in its activation. It turns out he's also playing double agent. He's also sent word to the X-Men who were in the White Hot Room that he plans to betray the machines as well. What does he probably plan to do but sacrifice himself and override Enigma with his own consciousness to benefit the X-Men? Meanwhile, the X-Men are activating the Phoenix. Comics being what they are, you never really give your final story turn until you're very, very close to the end. Xavier, being who he is now clearly playing both sides. I am calling it right now. Whether he ends up using the Phoenix or his own power in the last swoop that ends up killing him or has help from Jean or Rachel, Charles Xavier is going to subvert and consume the Essex consciousness in Enigma and ultimately assume the role himself in order to save mutant kind. He's already stated that these were practically his plans and laid out alternatives to killing Moira to the young Moira. It's either this or attempt to use the Phoenix to completely eradicate the Dominion and the Moira timelines as well as the Krakoan Era entirely, which I don't think that they're going to do precisely because it's going to just make 6 years of publishing history completely useless. And we already know from solicits post-Krakoan Era that some of the holdovers of these editorial decisions from the Krakoan Era still stick around. So I don't think they're eradicating all of it. I'm pretty sure Charles Xavier is Enigma. Anyway, I know this is short, but for anybody guessing or taking bets, I'm willing to make them. I may well turn out to be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be. Ewing and Gillen have seeded clues to Enigma. Ewing and Gillen seeded clues to Enigma well before they revealed its existence. They're seeding clues now in the same way, in the visual style and in the sort of metaphysical representations of both characters. Anyway, I don't think there's any reason to think that everything on that page isn't relevant as well. Thanks again for watching. Ewing and Gillen have seeded clues to Enigma well before they debuted it, and I think that they are seeding clues now. So there's no reason to think that everything on that page isn't relevant and a clue as well. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been the Doomcast. We'll see you next week.